Good afternoon, everyone. Let us come back to the main plenary so we can continue. I hope everybody has a full stomach and is ready for the next session. Can we come back to our main plenary? Hello? Good afternoon, everyone. Can we come back to the main plenary? Good afternoon, good afternoon. Can we all come back to the main plenary? Could someone help me call the people in that room? Can we all come back? Me? All right, so we are about to start another set of breakout sessions. One is going to be focusing on cocoa and coffee, understanding their value chains and how we can empower our own production. And then the second one is export readiness, looking at the impact of productivity and sustainability, product quality as well. So as we did before, we are going to break into two sessions. One that's going to be left here will be covering export readiness, quality with productivity and sustainability. And then the second one will be on coffee and cacao, which will be in the breakout session on my extreme right. So just like we did before, maybe if you were in that room before, you stay out here. And if you were, or vice versa, you go back to that room. And if you were here, you stay here for the next session. Is that all right? All right, so let's move into our different breakout sessions. Thank you, everyone. Tech team, technical team, are you available? Technical team, are you available? If you're at the back, feel free to move forward and take a more comfortable seat. If you're right at the back, just move in closer so we're not too far apart from each other. 4-Day Kamara, please come to the podium.
Hello, hello. Good afternoon. When I all done Belful, ready for the afternoon session? Yes, no, not Belful. Wait till happy. When I want sleep, tomorrow no food then if you want sleep. Or more could just when I want for jump small. Okay, cool. So yeah, una thank you. Thanks everyone for coming for this morning's session. And I hope that it was a very fruitful session where you sort of like learn quite a bit. I saw that it was very, very interactive with your questions and your concerns and your contributions and comments. So I think, in my opinion, it was a very good session, right? You learned quite a bit. And the speaker as well was able to also see the constraints that we face here. So for this afternoon session, we're going to have two more panel discussions. The first one is the cocoa coffee value chain, developing giant, sustainable, and empowering multinational corporations. We know that for our country, for instance, cocoa and coffee are very, very important. These are like the tree crops of our country, and they're mostly export crops that the government promotes quite a bit. Cocoa has high value, but most times it's always exported in raw form, right? So there's so much to be done. We have made lots of strides in the last couple of years in terms of value addition, but then there's so much more to do. And some of our speakers today, we have people from Ghana that work with the Ghanaian Cocoa Board that would also be talking to us about the experience, because we know that Ghana is way advanced when it comes to cocoa development. So looking forward to a very fruitful section. And then the next topic will be on export readiness, quality married with productivity and sustainability. We all want to produce and process and export, correct? Okay, so just brought to my attention that we already have the cocoa ongoing in there, and this is for export readiness. Yeah. Okay, just gonna clarify that. But we can just speak on export readiness for now, since we've talked a bit on cocoa. So what do you guys understand by export readiness? My opinion is just putting yourself in a position where you have quality products in order to put it out there in the international markets. Right now, we're trying to come together as African nations through the trade agreement to be able to push our products out there. So how do we make sure that our products are of international standard, right? So for me, those are some of the things that we have to look into as we discuss export readiness. How is our productivity? How are our quality and standards, right? So we're also just going to wait for our speakers.
So earphones were distributed to all of you. Am I right? Have you all received earphones? Earpieces? You've not? Oh, so they're distributing now. They're slow motion. Okay, so this is for us to avoid the echo we were having in the previous session. So we follow the link and have our earsets on, and when they come on board online, then we listen to what they're saying. Meanwhile,
So for this session, please use your phones, because during the morning session, we noticed a lot of echo, right? So we are thinking that if we share this, you'll be able to use your phone directly. Okay. So here is export readiness. Okay. So as we prepare and wait for our speakers, would like just to hear your opinions on what it means to be export ready. Do we have volunteers? Remember, the topic is export readiness, quality married with productivity and sustainability. So what's your understanding on export readiness?
Hello, everybody. I'm Ishmael Jallo. When we talk about export readiness, we talk about the process or the stages that we use, either from branding, packaging, and how we attract the outside world with our product. That's what I understand from.
Any other?
Okay, so for you, it's about value addition, it's about branding, and it's about packaging, correct? Okay, that's one definition. Thank you. Anyone else? I'm sure we all have fantastic ideas of what it means to be export ready. And your answers don't have to be perfect. Just, give it a try. We're here to learn. What does it mean to say we're export ready? We're talking about productivity and sustainability. What does it mean in your opinion? There's no right answer or wrong answer. Okay, so we're going to start. This young lady here wants to.
To my own opinion, it simply means when your goods or products are now ready to face the outside world or the public market. It has to do with the efficiency of the goods and by extension how effective or how attractive your goods are to capture the attention of the market. That's my own opinion.
Okay. Let me just add my voice to that. Export readiness. It simply means when the goods are ready to be exported or to be moved into another man's country. These are one of the things that a country is always boasting of, and it has relevance that it plays into the country that is doing the export. One, it is about bringing foreign currencies into the country and others. Thank you.
Okay, so do we have any businesses present here who are engaged in exports? You are? Okay, so what do you think we should, as entrepreneurs, take into account before embracing exportation? And what is your personal experience?
My name is Junisa Kalon. I am humbly representing Cerebena Farms. In my humble experience, in terms of exporting our local produce, one of which is the palm oil, we've been moving it from here to Malaysia, Turkey, and the States. With reference to the first question, you need to formally be able, as an entrepreneur, as a farmer, to give the necessary supply to necessary demand. We've seen over time, for instance, what is happening in Ukraine, that certain produce that are being manufactured or being cultivated at agricultural level in those countries, when there's an ongoing war, there's a shortage of it right across the globe. And by so doing, scarcity causes high demand and inflation of price. So with regards to what we export, palm oil, one of the commodities, we have one, the branding is a concern. It's expensive. And we know in Sierra Leone, for you to have your own containers, you have to either import the rubbers from another country that's manufacturing containers and then give them either a sense of European brand, or you use your own local brand, but yes, still you have to have a trademark of an international standardized business that can give guarantee to clients right across your client base to understand the sense of value in quality, not only in quantity, what you're shipping out to them. That's one. Two, we also have the concern in terms of safe delivery models of delivery. For instance, the major delivery platform that we use is either freight or the seaport. But the most efficient that has been effective for us in our own case has been freight, that is flight. It'll go through DHL, which is one of the most prominent carriers of cargoes from the country to another place. Ship, yes, it takes time, and if you've got produce in raw state that cannot stand a durable time before it's depreciate, it might be a loss to you before it reaches its final destination. For instance, in Malaysia, most of the companies, they use palm kernel, bangawo would call, to generate energy. So if you're supplying them in tons, in metric tons, depending the measurement or the scales at which you are transacting, if you're using international or world standard, that is fine. If the palm kernel does not reach a certain destination for processing in terms of exchanging in export, and then there's a cause for it to demurrage at a particular seaport or a misplacement during the shipping, you're going to be at loss, because as far as the clients who are concerned, they've paid you perhaps a deposit for the onward processing from here, Standard Bureau, to the ports and then to their final destination. But peradventure, there is a situation wherein the ship may have its destination, piracy may disturb its route to its final destination. And that particular produce, by the time it reaches its final destination, is dilapidated in state. It's little or of no value. And this also is another impediment to the said concern that you asked. I believe I just want to stop at this too. I believe others have got things to say.
Okay, thanks. That's fantastic. Thanks. So what I hear from what you just said is, one, you need to have supply, the right amount. And this is where we talk about productivity, right? Quantity, that's one. Also, branding. How do you package your goods? Yesterday in the sessions, we talked about branding and marketing. These two always go together. So he's also sort of like mentioned from his own personal experience that branding is important. Another key point that he mentioned is certification, right? For instance, if you're going to export your goods to the European market or the American market, or even to other African countries, each and every country would have standards that you'd have to meet. You have to fulfill certain standards to be able to export crops to the EU market. For instance, if you want to export fresh vegetables to the European market, they would say, oh, you can't use this type of pesticide, or you can't use this type of chemical, or you need to have this type of certification to ensure that the products that you're bringing in our country can be consumed safely by our people. So these are some of the things that he was mentioning. He also, and this is also sort of like ensuring quality, right? They put certifications in place to ensure that the goods are of good quality for consumption of their people. Another thing that he mentioned was that of packaging and perishability. So I think those are the main constraints as well that can be faced when you're exporting. For instance, if you're exporting fish, right? It's perishable. You could dry the fish, but then it needs to be under a certain temperature in the ship or in the freight. So this is where packaging comes in. So in a nutshell, I think when we talk about being export ready, it means a whole lot of things. It means from the farm gate to when it actually gets out of the country, or sort of like landed to the consumer. So it doesn't just end or starts at the middle of the value chain, it starts to finish, right? And just to add as well, you will be talking about other, like, your records, your labeling of your fields. Like, those are things that people also look at. If someone wants to buy your goods, they will say, okay, besides the chemicals that you should use or not use, you can't grow your peppers outside in the open field. You need to grow them in a greenhouse. But that's not for every country. Just few countries will do that. So the bottom line is, if you want to export, you need to also look at the requirement of your client. What is it that they need? What is it that they're asking for? So always look out to the client first. You need to know, it's like you want to sell me something, or I want to sell you something. I need to know that you want it, right? What kind, do you want your fruits round? Do you want it big? Do you want it small? What color do you want it in? So those are the things that our clients would normally look out for, okay? So anybody else that has sort of like an experience to share on export or what it means to be export ready? Anyone? Oh, we're all good. We can just go home. Yes? Okay. So how many entrepreneurs do we have here? I know that man there. What's your name? Junisa Kalan. Okay, Junisa Kalan. Okay. So he's answered like really well.
I have some exciting news to share. This session is on cocoa and coffee. Exciting, yes. Yeah. So we sent somebody who checked, maybe he heard the word coffee somewhere. He came back with that. So if you're interested in cocoa and coffee, remain seated. That's why you came, right? That's why you chose this. Yeah, sorry. So I saw our two experts on the Zoom, and I went to fix that, but this is the right place for cocoa and...
So this is cocoa and coffee then? Oh, great stuff. Okay.
And they're online.
Okay.
Sorry for that.
So are all of you interested in staying for this session, or would you like to move to the export session? You want to stay for the cocoa session? Export?
Export?
Okay. So please, for those, we give you 1 minute to just move to that room there for the export session, please. If you want to stay for cocoa and coffee, you can stay here. Export, please move into the other room right there.
Cool. Yeah, so let's go ahead with cocoa. There, Abdul, we don't have it. We won't have him. One is for yeah, you can go since you are. Thank you. Okay, so we are going to have our speakers on. I would like to invite you guys, please, to come and cover this row. Yeah, from the back so that we don't have to do it twice. Okay, so thank you so much, BMAC and Lydia, for being with us this afternoon. And we would like you to introduce yourselves in turn, and then we proceed to this edition. Thank you. BMAC, are you hearing me? Hello, BMAC.
Nous vous entendons.
Lydia? Hi, Lydia.
Hai, cho mình lại chị Con.
not on. Ansumana, I thought you did some research on coffee. You did? Would you like to share?
All right, good afternoon. The name is Ansumana Lahai from Freetown, Urban. And this year, early February, we had a project that we went to Liberia to do a research on coffee plantation. And though it was not easy because in Africa as a whole, for now, coffee business is dying down in Africa because the reason shown us was that it's difficult for the cultivation of coffee than cocoa. Cocoa, you just plant and you continue brushing in. And when the season comes, you harvest and you sell. But coffee, it's somehow different. And after the rebel war in Sierra Leone, plenty of the farmers who are growing coffee are now not interested in coffee. They clear the coffee and decide to plant another another plantation like palm tree and other things. So coffee business is slowly dying down. But the research was we want people to come back to the coffee plantation because it's a very important plantation and it is being exported from Sierra Leone or within Africa to European countries. So it's very important. So want people to come back to that coffee plantation. That's why we went on that research. Even though it was not easy, but we tried to conquer. We had varieties of coffee. For those who do not know, we have different types of coffee. We have different types of coffee. And it depends on the type of coffee we have that we plant on the particular ground. If you want to do coffee planting, you have to know first the variety of the coffee. Then you test the soil again. If that particular coffee is going to match with the soil. If it does not match, when you plant it on that soil, it will not grow well. It will not give you a good yield. So you have to know the variety of coffee that you want to plant. All right. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Ansumana, for sharing that with us. Yeah, definitely it has to go with some amount of prerequisite knowledge and also convening the expertise of soil specialists, but at the same time, as we discussed in the session before, also quality of water and all that. But I just would like to gauge a little bit the potential of the cacao or cocoa and coffee industry across the continent. So how many coffee drinkers do we have in this room and virtually? How many of you drink coffee? Only one person? All the others don't drink coffee? Huh? Do you need coffee? You need coffee to wake up. Okay, so who among us consume and love cacao, cocoa? No one? Okay, one. The powder or the refined versions? Both? Okay, so what are the refined versions? From the cocoa that we harvest, what can we do? hot chocolate. Mm-hmm. And powder. Yeah, so the powder, we make hot chocolate with it. What else can we have from the powder? What else? So we are discussing this because Africa has such potential when it comes to harvesting, to producing the cacao itself. But then we sell the raw material. We sell it to who? Who do we sell it to? To the Westerners. What do they do with it? Huh? They process it and make what of it? Huh? Some of these? Yeah, which ones? Which ones? Yeah. Chocolate bars, right? So we have these chocolate bars that have mint, that have vanilla, whatever, orange, you know, and that's where that processing is where the money is. And Africa has been losing a lot by just selling the raw material and not building industries that can develop, that can transform that powder into, that can transform the bean into chocolate, because the powder in itself is not concentrated in the cacao. You know, so those are great reasons why it would be very important for us to leverage the cacao business and build those industries across the line. So same with coffee. You have that, the way we use our own is the one we shifter, right? The raw one that we shifter. But we do know that if we work on it, we can have what? What and what and what? What are the types of coffees that we know? Huh? Black coffee and, yeah, black coffee, red coffee, green coffee, aromatic, yes. But also, you have what? Cappuccino, right? Who likes cappuccino here? No one. What about coffee latte? Anyways, even when we said who likes coffee, we didn't have many of you guys. So you guys are not a good sample. You like? You? Oh, wait. Caffeinated and decaffeinated coffee. I'm not that expert in coffee, so I'm not sure. But yeah, what I mean is now you were seeing like what Starbucks is doing in the States. We know about Starbucks, right? Do we know about Starbucks? Guys, come on, we don't know about Starbucks. We don't know about Starbucks? Okay, I'm done with this session. You don't know about Starbucks? Okay, so Starbucks is making a revolution in terms of coffee consumption in the States. Why? Because they sell more than a cup of coffee, right? So you go there, the smell, the type of light. So they're selling the brand, they're selling the experience, they're creating spaces and all. You know, and why is that? It's just a cup of coffee, but they leverage on the love that people have for coffee. You know, and those are we discussed a lot from yesterday about branding, about tapping into people's emotions, the same way as Coca-Cola is doing. So their product comes from cola nuts, you know, but they found recipes that are keeping us going for how many decades? The same way in Africa, we have that great production of coffee and of cacao, and it would be very interesting to tap into the potential of industrializing those sectors, those specific areas of agriculture. So I'm not sure if we still have a BMAC. We don't. Who do we have? And Lydia also is is offline. So this is not like water that we all drink, and if we don't have the experts, we still discuss water. We have few coffee lovers and just a more substantial number of cocoa lovers, but yeah. So what I would propose as an alternative to this situation is to interview the experts separately and then have that on YouTube and then send the link in the WhatsApp group so that we all have access to that and we don't lose on the opportunity of learning from them in terms of how they develop their businesses, how they manage to export, and then, you know, create wealth around the production of coffee and cacao. So Lydia, you're still here as I see. Hello, Lydia.
I am listening to the conversation, and even as you do your survey in the room, evaluating, and I think these are some of the challenges that you're having in terms of developing
great intervention, and that also shows the richness of the industry, the potential it has, especially in terms of the range of products that we can have, and how like with creativity, the business can just vary and diversify the products that they offer to the public, and in doing that, get greater productivity and have a good share of the market and keep them for a long run. Yeah, so thank you so much for that. I do know that both of us are very passionate about the implementation of the AFTA. So being that we don't have BMAC here, but that even the coffee and cacao products are also something that Africa would love to have some of the regions decentralized in terms of access, get to other markets, and and be able to develop those great corporations. So in order for us to be able to implement the AFTA and make our companies, take advantage of that initiative, what do you think that as smallholder organizations like MSMEs, smallholder farmers, and even some established local businesses should do to leverage on it and embrace the external market more efficiently?
The
Thank you so much, Lydia, for that wealth of knowledge and experience that you shared. And I do know that that stems from passion and also, you know, that eagerness to see Africa being able to trade with among itself, among its you know, different markets and countries. So I do also know that, you know, you explore a lot around, you know, already the countries that are implementing the AFTA, but also the countries that have the privileged trading initiatives among themselves, yes. So could you please develop a little more on that? Like, you know, we do have tendencies in terms of countries that trade more among themselves than others, but at the same time also, you know, the ones that are more specified or more, I would say, let's say, more focused on when it comes to implementation of AFTA. So what are the tendencies that you have, let's say, noted? And what do you think is the, let's say, the recipe for their own successes? What can we learn from their own practices and the challenges that they seemingly have? Even though at this stage we cannot, you know, have a holistic assessment of the implementation, but at least like based on what they have experienced so far.
Just to pick up on where you're living, is that
Lydia, thank you. I did know that that was the point to press with you because I do know the passion with the AFCTA. And also you had great points in there, including the fact that it's very important for us to, for our leaders to harmonize the policies, to harmonize the approaches and the regulations across the continent in terms of agriculture and trade, so that the different countries that are involved in the initiative, in the AFTA initiative, can equally offer services and products that are competitive. You tackled the tax issues, taxation issues across the borders, but also all those challenges that cross-border traders experience. So we talk a lot about the AFTA, but we don't have yet entrepreneurs who are capable of testifying that they're benefiting from the AFTA across the countries. Even in here, we witness people who are trading from Guinea to Sierra Leone going over so much of trouble, both in terms of customs and road infrastructure, everything that comes with it, and even like financial, digital finance and digital literacy that the entrepreneur needs for them to be able to be here in Sierra Leone, have a great product and sell it to somebody in Malawi who receives their goods within the week and pays you back your money, so that the cycle continues. So that's the time at which we are. But we do know the challenges that we have in Africa. We still have the technological challenges. We still have the digital challenges. We also have the financial challenges, because even the financial institutions have a great role to play in coming up with those products that are swift enough, that are creative enough to respond to the need of the farmer. I was informed a while ago that we have the executive manager of the Rokel Commercial Bank here with us. So the message is not only to him, but to all the institutions, to all the financial institutions, who would like to leverage on this youth, of this age group of the agricultural entrepreneurs and businesses that we have, so that they offer products that are appropriate to them. So that being said, I would like to proceed to closing this session, and then inviting us to regroup and wait for the other session to come in the main session room and have a wrap-up session wherein our moderator, Mariama Bari-Wuri, will have a synopsis of all what happened during the day and a preview of what's happening next. I think I forgot something. Yeah, I forgot something in the planning. We are supposed to have 15 minutes of us presenting to you the innovation fair candidates that were shortlisted, so that you know their profiles, know their names, know what they're proposing, and be able to vote for them or not. And then we have the wrap-up session for the day. So thank you so much for your patience with all the difficulties we have with technology and everything. And yes, so stay with us while we are presenting to you those innovators and when we are wrapping up for this session of today. Thank you so much. And please clap for yourselves. Your patience is out of this world. Thank you so much. Thank you, Lydia. See you tomorrow for your great sessions to come. Bye. Okay, so interesting. So, okay, I really meant it when I said when I thanked you for your patience, because these technical issues are really very difficult to bear with, you know, because